the audio. Okay, there we go. Apologies. I don't know why that happens sometimes, but sometimes OBS just has a mind of its own. So let's start over. Hi, I'm Steve from Mac84, and here's another live stream. Yeah, that weird cracking noise was because the microphone decided to set itself to my microscope camera, which makes no sense. So hopefully now everything is settled, but my goodness, what a pain in the butt. Sorry about that. Everyone's like, this is amateur hour. We're on Bruce's stream and things are working. What's going on? What's going on indeed? Windows 84. Oh, that's scary. That's scary. Okay, so let's say hello to everybody in the chat. And I'm probably going to miss some of you, but let's try and scroll down here. MK Morpheus, hello. We have Sad Mac336. We have Distro Hop. We have Trina, of course. We have Jay. We have Kate. We have Thomas. We have Dan. Let's see, anybody else we missed? Estrella, we have Apple's Anonymous. And let's see, Matt and Nick. Okay, finally. Yeah, well, it does take me a little bit to set up. Honestly, I should have waited the extra few minutes and looked over and made sure my camera was on the tripod before I started streaming, but it's how it happens. So, alright, so today we are going to be taking a look at a few things, and I'm warning you before we begin, I may be jumping from one board to another, because I'm dealing with a lot of problem boards here, and each of these boards has had a problem in the past. And Macintosh Librarian, one of your boards, is one of the ones we're going to be looking at. And I have a Macintosh SE30 board, and a, what is this, a Classic 2 or a Classic 1? Which one is this? Let me just fish around here. And a Classic 2. So we have a few, another Nick. Oh, hello, other Nick. So yes, well, don't worry. Yours is not the only problematic board. It is not, but it is. Where did I put it? Hold on. Here it is. They're labeled, thankfully. But yeah, so this is. I'm curious about it. Let's just say that. But hello, Vanessa. Welcome to the stream. So Kate's board has been through a lot. I think we did 2 or 3 live streams about this board, and what I want to do is take a close look with the microscope and just see if there are any breaks or anything. Some of these chips have been taken off before. I'd have to look at my notes to see exactly which. And we could just take a look here. But I'm just very curious. I haven't looked at this board under the microscope in a while. And I'm just curious if I'll spot something that I haven't before. Yes, this is the Macintosh Librarian's board. Sorry. And so, yeah, I'm curious as to if we could get some different symptoms with this. But the problem was that there was like a jail bar checkered pattern, you know, big fat jail bars on the screen, and I recapped the machine, and there was a lot of gunk on this, so it went through the ultrasonic a few times, and unfortunately that did not seem to solve the issue. Now let me put it under the microscope here so I can give you an idea of what's going on. Let me just set up, make sure that everything is correct here, because it's going to need me to rebind the microscope and all that stuff. the camera microscope. Oh, Stephen, get your words right. Get your words right. Get your words right. Your YouTube feed is mad. I am moving around. Moving around. Okay, cool. So let's try this. Boom. Okay. So we have the microscope here. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at our Macintosh Classic 2 board. And the problem here is these pins were all corroded enough that I had to dig into the chip and get a different connection for some of these. Now they are making a connection. It's not really pretty. What I do is I try and fix things up, but obviously once things are working, I tidy them up a bit. So yeah, there is some things going on with this board, obviously, but this particular job here, this chip rather, is pretty important. This does a lot of the checks when it starts up and everything. So this little chip here is just very important to get right. But what I want to do, I want to use the multimeter, and I want to take a very careful look at some of these pins and make sure they are actually touching here. And this has been through the ultrasonic cleaner a lot. And each time it goes through that, there is a risk that some of the old joints may get a little fussy. They may get a little weaker. There is some dirt and dust on here. This has been sitting in a bag, but you know, it was by a bin, so there could have been some crud floating around here. There is some old flux and junk, and this will go through the cleaner again. I am just very curious, as I hit the eject key on my keyboard, I'm just very curious if we can spot anything different. Hello, Sean. Welcome to the stream. Now this pin is a little too close to that one for my liking, so I'm just going to just slightly bend that out of the way. That doesn't take a lot of force. And just seeing if I could spot anything out of the ordinary. If you see any breaks or anything, be sure to let me know. There's a lot of dust and such, but I don't recall there being any breaks on this board, so I don't think we're going to find any, which is, I guess, a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing if there's a break, but a good thing is, oh, that's why it won't boot up. Let's see. You found your box of SIM sockets. That was very, very interesting, Thomas. I was obviously on Bruce's stream yesterday, and I have to order myself a bunch of those SIM sockets because I have a few machines. And, you know, that would be very, very useful. That would very much enjoy those SIM sockets, and it's purely for my benefit of removing the memory and putting them on and so on and so forth, without those plastic tabs to worry about. Everything looks like it's connected here. I will be poking and prodding some of these things, but yeah, I'm just curious here of, besides the chip over here, because technically all of that is connected. Now, it could be that there's still something wrong with that chip, but very curious if there's anything else I've missed. So what happens when this power's on? Either one of two things. Either the screen is completely dark, and you don't get a chime and you get a weird popping noise, or you get no chime and the screen goes to a very faded jail bar pattern, like a thick jail bar pattern. And so it could really be, yeah, that chip does look gnarly. It could simply be there's some dirt somewhere that the ultrasonic didn't clean off. It could simply be there's something not making a connection, or something making a connection that shouldn't be there. Sorry, there's a lot of dust here. These ones look funky. Well, it would also help if you guys were as focused as I am. Let me adjust this a little bit, see if that'll help here. That sounds like you have to do the adjustments on the analog board or on the back of this CRT. I forget the which specific model has has the knobs right there and which, does not. Alright, so hopefully the focus is there, a little bit better. Because, yeah, so. Okay, so let's just continue looking around here. Again, there's a lot of dust on here. I need to find my better tweezers. I'll probably find them during the stream today. But, little particles here and there. So, again, these boards will get cleaned, but you want to make sure they work. And obviously, I clean them as I go along, so I do some spot cleaning. That's just a little thing of dirt. That's not a break or anything. That looks like actually a piece of old solder or something like that. Alright, so I'm going to move the board around a little bit. Thankfully, this is a small board, so it doesn't take up too much room here on the workbench. Yes, and we will be looking at those. And those are some of the chips, or at least most of them, I believe. I'd have to check my notes to see which ones I've taken off already. I know I took off these 2 cereal chips, and I could see the residue of flux here, which I will be cleaning up right now, actually. This is a Macintosh Classic 2, and I will... my text is not showing there on the screen because I was messing around with my camera settings before. So let me adjust that and be fancy like our friend Bruce there. And put our text up there. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oops, I'm on the wrong thingy. It would help if I'm on... it would help if I'm on the right thing here. This is not my day today, huh? So what do I have to go to edit text? Maybe. What is this? What's this? Is there we go. Okay. Hello, Madeline. Welcome to the stream. It's a Classic 2, of course. And this is a very, very nice machine to have. I would say up there with the compacts. If you take the Color Classic out of the equation, and you're just competing for usefulness, I would say the Classic 2 is right behind the SC30. Obviously, the SC30 is a great machine. The SE isn't a bad machine either, but the Classic 2, I'd say it's right below an SE30. It's hard to beat an SE30, but you know what? The faster processor on the Classic 2, it gives it a bit of an edge, I'd say. Right, this is very dirty here, and I know I'm out of focus again, so just give me one moment. What I want to do is actually, I need to be able to see this stuff pretty clearly too. And let me adjust the microscope camera as well. Yes, that's an excellent point there. It has a great nostalgia to cost ratio. It's not one of those machines where hopefully the price is too high. I'm seeing some little solder balls on here that probably reared their ugly heads from when it was last time it was in the cleaner. But it doesn't fetch those silly prices that the SC30s fetch. And it's a heck of a lot faster than your Macintosh Classic, your 512K, your Plus. And you can put quite a bit of memory in there. Yes. I am just getting some of the... Move this big jumper wire out of the way. I'm just getting some of the dirt and gunk that was just sitting on here. After it goes through an ultrasonic clean, I did look at this again, and it sort of just got a little dusty and dirty. So clean that off again. Does not help that I had a bit of a hole in the anti-static bag this was sitting in, so some of the dust found its way in there. Okay, so so we have the memory chips. I definitely put on because there's some residue here. I'm just doing a spot check real quick. I did not take this one off. I believe I took these two off. Some of these capacitors are a bit singed because they were next to each other, but you know, assuming this board works, I would not have a problem with redoing some of that to tidy that up a bit. We have a little solder ball here. We do not want that. What is this here? Do we have... we do have a little solder bridge there. Well, we're going to fix that. Is that actually soft enough where yeah, I'm able to just cut that away. Yeah, these likely weren't the best work I've ever done here, so we could always fix that up a little bit. Yeah, it's a bit weird because you guys are only seeing the left eye of this, but since this microscope is stereoscopic, I do see a bit of depth and a bit around corners here that you are not able to see because the camera is only 2D. So yeah. I have not worked on a Super Nintendo, no. I probably have a Nintendo 64 to work on in my future because I have one that I got from a thrift store ages ago. I think it was like $10 or so, and it just didn't work. I got nothing. The red light comes on and that's it. And I think those are riddled with capacitor issues as well, and hopefully should be a fairly simple, straightforward recap. But I'd have to order the caps and look into that and such. But from what I hear, that and the Sega Game Gear, my goodness, I have like 12 Sega Game Gears, and they all have various issues. Audio doesn't want to work, this doesn't want to work, and those, well overdue for capacitor replacements. You know, a lot of people have different takes on this, but HDMI is very convenient, I understand that, but there is just something about an analog signal. No matter what you do, no matter how you scale it, how you process it, you know, I'm all for, you know, getting older stuff to work on newer things and stuff like that, but, you know, sometimes with these scalers and these mods and stuff like that, it sort of looks a little weird to me. I don't know. I'm not saying for one system or another. I'm just saying in some of the things I've seen, yeah, the images look sharp, but sometimes it sort of takes away a bit from it. But, oh, that's cool. That's cool, Sean. Yeah, a lot of things have bad caps. And you know, it was an interesting, I was watching a video recently, and someone was like, oh, you know, the Macintosh Classics are bad because they have unreliable caps. Well, you know what? They weren't unreliable 30 years ago. They weren't unreliable 30 years ago. But today, it's a bit of a different story. Now, that is something I'm all for. Something proprietary or complicated like the 2GS. That is something that is perfectly awesome. A lot of little solder balls here. Jeez, maybe it was just the way this was put back on. It's quite annoying. Let me just adjust this here. You know, because the Apple 2GS, the video RGB out port on there is very specific. And if you don't have an original monitor, it's a pain in the butt. Well, the classic was made in the 90s, so yeah. I mean, a lot of the machines. Okay, so there's two things. One is there's two problems essentially. One is just capacitors being old and leaking. That no matter what your capacitor is, there's a chance and a risk of it, you know, becoming old and failing and leaking. Two is the capacitor plague, but I believe that was more of the mid to late 90s to early 2000s. And that was the whole thing of someone trying to copy the formula for the capacitors and all that stuff. So that is, there are two separate things going on there, and that's just a rudimentary explanation. I'm not trying to correct anybody or anything. I'm just speaking in general. It's just a little bit of extra solder everywhere on this chip, huh? That was a fun one to put on. I remember that. Hello, Tommy. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on when they were manufactured, the supplier, and all that stuff. I mean, some machines just, you know, they don't. I'm just getting some yucky flux residue over here. I must have did this after the cleaning. Some machines don't have as bad of a track record as others, and some do. That's just how it comes down to that. My PowerBooks are give and take. Some of them work great. Some of them that one of my friends, Mike from Mike's Mac Shack, gave me two PowerBook. I think the one's at 160, one's at 65 or something like that. And they both need to be recapped. They both have issues. And then I got a bunch from a recycling center, and none of them want to turn on at all. So they probably all need recapping. Or there's another problem. Who knows? No, I do not leave my computers running on all the time. I only have a few running. I have the Mac Minis that run, and then I have one server that runs. Everything else, when I'm done with it, I shut it off. Unless I know I'm going to have to access it later in the day, or I need to wake it up, I shut it off. Because I also have a lot of external hard drives plugged in. I don't like leaving those just to run and sit there, you know. No, so this board was ultrasonic, and then I did additional work on it, and I have not put it through the ultrasonic since. So that's why there's residue on there, so that's why there's dust on here, and so on and so forth. Now, I do have quite a few boards to ultrasonic, so this will go back in there. I don't really have any high hopes of finding the smoking gun here. I just wanted to take another look at this under the microscope. You guys are along for the ride. But, yeah, I mean, I really am trying to cut down on the electricity bill. I'm still recovering from the summer months where our air conditioner is giving us an expensive bill to pay every month. That was fun. This is a Macintosh Classic 2 board, and the problem is it is just not turning on. You get some garbled artifacts on the screen. And in a little bit, I think I'll test that. I'll show it again. I just want to clean up some of the crud here. We found one or two little solder balls. I don't think they were causing any issues, honestly. But it does not hurt to get a better look at these things. Yeah, there's just a ton of little... Yeah, this could definitely go through the cleaner again, because there's just a ton of little solder flakes. So what happens is, a lot of the time, these old joints, especially, they will just sort of shed. You know, you'll get some cracks in the old legs and such like that, and you can see all these little particles. You might be able to see. All these little particles are just sitting there. Well, no, I know, Kate, that you did some attempts here, and that is fine. I know you were using different solder and such like that. I did clean this up a little bit, but look, no matter what you do, there's always going to be more cleanup involved. So don't you worry. Don't you worry. Looks like it has a crack on the edge. Well, there's some. There's a hair here. If I move the hair away, it doesn't look as bad. Yes, it's okay to blame me. It's okay to blame me. This was sent in, Adam, by the Macintosh librarian. This needed some love, and don't worry, Adam, your board is right next to me. So if we can't figure this out, we're gonna hop onto yours. That has not been through the cleaner yet. I just want to make sure I got everything, Adam, before I put it in the cleaner. I know I've been a bit behind on things, but it's been the holidays and everything, and I've actually trying to do nothing on my vacation. I know, what a concept. I know. But yeah, I wanted to just take another look at some of these things, refresh my memory. I was looking over my notes, and I was like, did I? All right, that's what I did for this one. Oh, let me have another look under the microscope just to make sure. Sorry, I'm making you guys dizzy. I'm just trying to find something I just saw. There we go. We have about 30 of you guys watching right now. Thank you for tuning in. I'm just doing a bit of an inspection. Yeah, here's the delicious cereal known as solder flakes. Adam, I appreciate your patience on that. Rest assured, your computer is, one of the ones on my list to keep looking at, and hopefully, oops, sorry about that. There goes my phone. Hopefully, with a clean in the ultrasonic cleaner, that should get rid of any of the little gunk hiding under those ICs and stuff like that, that have been plaguing your machine with issues. Let's see. Show the left side of that IC. I thought I saw an issue. Sure. Let me just zoom out a little bit so we get a better look here. And let me refocus this just so it's easier to see. So we're gonna look at one of these. This is U1. I'm sorry, U2. U1 is right below it. Danny, if you want to take a look at that, there might be. Alright, so sorry, I'm just catching up on the chat. Things are a little delayed on my end. There's a gap around the IC pad second from the bottom. Second from the bottom. So you're talking about U1 or U2? Oh, so U2 you're talking about here. Oh, U1 you're talking about. Okay, see, now I'm getting confused. Oh boy. Is it something you saw on the left side or the right side? No, I was zoomed into the right side for a bit there. I know my little camera picture-in-picture thing is sort of cutting this off here, so let me adjust that as well as I can and see if I can focus this a bit better. Left. Okay, you said second from the bottom. So first off, let me get all these like hairs and junk around here, because that's not helping. This leg you're referring to here? So let's say 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which one? Which one? Sorry, my view through the microscope is a little different than what looks like on the camera, so let me do that again. So this is U2. Let's just call this leg 1, leg 2, leg 3, leg 4. And Danny, which one were you referring to? Yeah, it's very hard to see exactly what I'm seeing because there, again, the stereoscopic difference here. But yeah, it does. You could easily be like, oh wait, there's something, and that's why I like looking at these again and again. Now these, some of these chips were actually removed and put back on, so that is fresh solder on there. The reflection and everything from the solder can sometimes look a little different, but those all are relatively shiny. I do see some little nasty bits that would have been cleaned through another round of cleaning after I put these chips on, I believe. But let's get some of these. See, there's like these little flakes that were probably there from the first time that these were soldered on, so let's just try and remove some of that. And it's very hard because there's another component right where my scalpel wants to go. Ah, boy. This is not an ideal position to be in. Come on. Just trying to get all the gunk out between those legs here. I'll scoop it up with a Q-tip. We're not going to get all of it, but I'm not pressing hard. I'm just trying to. Yeah, there's tons of little things here. This is not gonna come clean without another trip in the ultrasonic cleaner. I know that. But I'm just trying to brush away all that I can. Still got a little bit of stuff in there. No worries, Trina. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, there's a bunch of crud in there. Let's see if I could attack this from another angle here. Thankfully, the board is small enough that I could maneuver it about a fair bit. Yeah, there we go. And I can't move this scalpel too much because I'm right between the serial ports here. So I physically can't go the direction I want to with this. Here we go. Okay. But I do appreciate the second pair of eyes there, Dan. Obviously, there's tons to look at here. So if anybody spots anything, you're like, wait, that might be it, let me know. Obviously, there's a lot of little spots here that need to be cleaned off. This would, of course, again, benefit from another go in the ultrasonic bath because there has been work done on the board since then. And this was one of the earlier boards, one of the very first boards I did with this microscope. So, you know, some time has passed. Always good to take another look at these things just to see if I missed something. Try gaming on Windows Vista. I've been there. I built a PC in 2008, and the only operating system I had was Windows Vista. And you know what? It wasn't too bad. I had no problems. I had absolutely no problems. Of course, when I had the opportunity to go to Windows 7, I did. But I used to play Unreal Tournament 3 on Windows Vista. My graphics card was supported. My PC was a Core 2 Quad 2.66 gigahertz machine. And it worked just fine. Why would I want to do it in 2020? That's just silly. That's just silly. Yeah, I could sort of, you know, see some little. I mean, there's a lot of flux under this chip, so this is obviously done after I did the ultrasonic clean on this, but I think mine was a Q6600. It was a very early Core 2 Quad processor. I'm not really concerned about getting the flux off, but I know there's like little specks of solder flakes and junk that are also sitting there. Yeah, I think mine was a 2.66 model. I mean, it's been ages. I still have the machine around here somewhere, but that was a fun machine. That was the first machine I built since a Pentium 4 that I built in my youth. So that was, you know, it was obviously a long time period difference, but that, you know, I had a job and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to build myself a gaming PC. It's all this little hairs and stuff from the cotton swabs and stuff that get stuck to these. I hate it. Yuck. Remnants of the pads around the pad. No. So you're looking at the black bits here are not necessarily the pads. Let me see if we could focus this a bit better. The black bits there are not necessarily the pads. That is the gap between the solder pad and the silicon of the board there. There's a bit of a difference there. So it does look like, oh, the pads are black. No, that's the surrounding bits. And if you look at any of these on the board, when you zoom in close enough to these, this is what you will see. You will see a black surrounding around each of those pins. And so if that's what you were referring to, it's like that on every board I've seen. And that is just the gap between the pad and the logic board itself. So yeah, I was just trying to see if I spotted anything that popped into mind. Now, there is this big red wire here, and some of you may be asking, what the heck is this? On some Classic 2 models, there was a jumper cable running from this pin, particularly on this chip here, and went all the way to that chip that is having a bit of an identity crisis here because it has a big chip on its shoulder. That was from the factory. There was a cable running that way. Now, when I started working on this, I removed that wire. And, I still have the original cable. I can put it right back on, the factory original cable, if Kate so inclines it to be that way. However, this just quick little cable here will do the trick if that indeed was the only problem, but of course it was not. One thing I also like to do is to just check on the ports here. Sometimes there's a short on some of these ports here, and some of them can use a bit of a scraping off, especially the printer port here. But sometimes, like on my Macintosh 2CX, one of them was damaged, so they were actually bridging together. They were touching, and you can't have that. So just making sure there's no. Well, there's some crust in there, but nothing that should be causing a problem. Just checking behind these ports as well. Yes. This is the Macintosh Librarians board, and like I said, this was one of the first ones that was sent to me. I had a few classics under my belt and said, oh, this will be okay. And obviously it's still not fixed because we're looking at it now. But I am hopeful that we can resolve the issue here. I am curious enough that at one point, probably not tonight, I have to find a donor. But I want to remove this chip and put on a replacement. No, I don't. The Classic 2 does not have a bootable ROM. The Classic 1 does. It'd be cool if the Classic 2 did. The Classic 1 is the one where you hold down Command Option OX, I believe, something like that. Yeah. I mean, I could go ahead and plug this in a moment, and I'm just doing some more cleaning here, and see if we get any difference of what it was doing before. There seems to be some. No worries, David. I can't type either because I'm busy. There we go. Yeah, more. Again, that wasn't touching anything, but more crud we could get off of here, the better. And that's where the memory is, so we don't want it to fail a memory test or anything like that. It's the weird things. I remember the key combination for that, but I can't remember my license plate. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? I can remember my license plate. See, the thing is, I had the same license plate since like 2009, and then all of a sudden they changed it. Like, oh yeah, you need a new registration license because it's New Jersey, and they want you to do weird things like that. And I'm like, okay. And as insult to injury, I had to pay for it too. So it's like $200 down the drain, and now I can't remember my license plate, although I can remember the previous one. ZNK24S. The issues with the board is that it don't boot. We get some interesting patterns when it tries to start up. But usually the patterns don't even appear. Usually they don't. So that is something we are looking at, seeing if we could identify exactly what's going on here. What are you screwing up now? I am attempting to unscrew something up, Mike. I will have you know. Good sir. Yep, welcome to New Jersey. They overcharge you for everything because they can. A lot of things are overrated. Save Windows Vista. No, kill it with fire. Kill it with fire. Now Mike is here and you mentioned Windows Vista. Now you're going to upset the boy. Yes, I did check the Dead Mac Scrolls, and you know what the Dead Mac Scrolls say? You know what the Dead Mac Scrolls say? They say the Macintosh Classic and the Macintosh Classic 2 are still under Apple's warranty services. So if you got a problem, go to Apple. That's pretty much verbatim of what that says. Jay, defined parts. I have broken things that probably have no use to anybody. But honestly, a Power Mac G5 these days, usually you get them dirt cheap, so I just get a whole new machine. Don't even bother for parts. Don't even bother for parts. Larry's gonna be like, what the heck you bother me about? You're using a machine that's 30 years old? You guys are crazy. I would need to know all the stuff about it. See, the thing is, I'm pretty good at troubleshooting. And I am happy to write down, you know, my successes and my failures and try and record what I found out, etc. But, you know, it's sometimes just random. Like there could be a break in between a line here or a trace or whatever, and you can't really write a book saying, oh, check this, because every machine is different. But the troubleshooting steps in that book are excellent. I wish I had all of them memorized. If you go to Goodwill.com, they have a Performa. Well, I can't click the show button, Dusty, because YouTube is broken today. But Dusty commented, if you go to Goodwill.com, shopgoodwill.com, they have Performa 6360. Looks like something you would like. I have a few Performas, so I don't, not really in the market for one, but let's see. You check all of your caps with a DV on? Sorry, Dan, can't quite make that out. I guess you mean a multimeter? I did, but I'd be happy to check again. Oh, that's very good to know, Danny. I think I have that saved somewhere. Mac Classic and Macintosh SE upgrade secrets. Be good to know. Yes, decent for System 7. But those machines are a little fussy sometimes. Yeah, that chip I definitely put on because it is slightly crooked. My apologies. Mechanic term for multimeter. Okay, a mechanic I am not. Mechanic I am not. I'm going to let most of this alcohol dry off, or all this alcohol dry off, and I just want to plug it in briefly, see if it has changed any. I doubt it. You know, I really think this thing needs a good ultrasonic cleaning again, and it could use with some careful inspection on these chips. You know, with them removed from the logic board. But and it could also be that one particular chip that we have this jumper running to, that could be causing an issue as well. There's a few things that could be going on. But that's why I bug you. Exactly. Okay, well, let's see. I have a classic analog board here. I'm actually borrowing my friend Frank's Performa 200, which is essentially a classic, and going to be using that as the test rig here because it already has an extension cable plugged in. He won't mind. And yeah, so let's take a brief look at that. I'm gonna switch over the camera here. Okay. I'm gonna move that out of the way. Sorry for the squeaking. That happens. I'm gonna go grab this machine over here. So this is just a standard PC ATX extension cable. Now you have to plug it in right here because that's the only spot that this will fit. And I'll show a close-up of this in a little bit. But this is just a standard PC ATX cable. I was going to cut off the extra pins, but you know, the socket here. But I'm like, you know what? I'll just leave it on there. But yeah, that's nothing too fancy. Just a standard extension cable. Yes, I was looking at them one day and I'm like, wait a second, I think this is a perfect match for this. And you know what it was? So I was like, yay. And it allows me to, you know, keep the board and not slide it all the way in and this and that. WD-40 for the microscope. It was making a squeaking noise. That's what he was referring to. So this is just a standard cable here. And this will plug in like this. Go, and just gives me, you know, just like a few extra inches of wiggle room here, so I could have the board like that. I could check voltages and stuff like that quite easily. I won't have to do much work on that. I don't think this is going to make any of a difference than it did before. Sorry, there's a cable under the tripod here. Yes, finally a PC part comes in handy. So we're going to just make sure this is turned off. It is. Plug this in. I'm going to power on. I'm not going to expect anything. I'm not going to leave it on too long either. So let's see what happens. I hear the fan. See, I hear a click, 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 click coming from the analog board. Click, 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 like that. When I use a different logic board, it's fine. And I'll show you an example of that. So, thankfully with our little cable here, makes that quite easy. Remove that. Gonna put back in our known working logic board. This is also a classic 2. Same deal. Plug that in. This is not the one we're working on, so when this works, don't get too excited, but I'll turn this on and it chimes. I'm not getting the click, 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 click I was with the other logic board. So, yes, it does sound like there's a short somewhere, and that's what we're trying to find out. What is being bridged, what is being touched. It doesn't do that all the time. Sometimes only once or twice that I remember, you did get a pattern on the screen there. So, there is something that has been maybe touched somewhere or shorted somewhere. So that's why I did not want to leave that on too long. Obviously there is a bit of an issue there, but that is what I'm looking for. What are you guys chatting about Linux for? I have no idea what you're talking about. You could be talking about, you know, sports cars for all I know. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, it's a good place to start, but the problem is there's so much to look at here. There could be a short anywhere on this board. Now, what I could do, because I do have another Classic 2 board. This is mine. If you try bending the board slightly while trying to power it up using a thermal camera. I don't have a thermal camera, so I'm not bending a client's board just for funsies. What I will be doing is we could take a look at this, which is my Classic 2 board, and we could just see. I'm going to check the capacitors. Just see with the multimeter if I get any differences. The one here, just do a few things there. Did you get a new keyboard? No, this is just the same little Magic keyboard I had. I got this from the e-waste place, out honestly. Just sort of sits there. I'm losing it all the time because it's wireless. But removing and reinserting the ROM chips. Well, I did that. I could try with a new set of ROM chips. Let's see if I have a revision A, because this is a revision A Classic 2. Let's see if I have another one, because most of mine are revision Bs. Actually, I spotted revision A right here. Let me bend over here, see if I could grab it. Let's see. So we have this is actually someone's. I have to. This is Joe's or Jason's or somebody's. I have to finish testing this and send it back. Let me just double check the orientation of the ROMs here. Excuse me, the ROMs here. 6.4, 6.5, 6.6, 6.7. Let's see. Sorry, just catching up with the comments here. While standing on your head. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that. Do a PRAM reset. Have you tried opening up disk utility? Oh, boy. Yeah, I will carefully take off the ROMs. See if there's and do a ROM swap. I don't think I tried that with this particular board. I tried it with other boards. It didn't really help me in that particular situation. But I am not against trying, and yes, I will be careful. If this was my board, it would be broken in half already. For me, trying to see where the break is. But it's a client's board. We are very careful with them. We are paying customers. All right, so let me get my little tool here. I have a little flat wedge here that I like to use for this. Let me see where I put it, if you don't mind. I'll be back in a second. I have a where's the other board here? Let's see. No. We're not gonna be frying anything. I'm just doing a quick look-see. Let's see. There was no. That was Mike's. I gave it back to him. I was like, oh, there's another Classic 2 board I have, and that's the one that Mike now has, and his working Classic 2. How about that? Yeah, let me just take a look over here. One moment. Yes, and here is, so your board, Adam, is right here. Yours is a revision B. You only have the 2 ROM sockets there. So that, unfortunately, will not help me in this situation because these have 4 ROM sockets. This was a board I am working on. This is a personal board of mine. As you can see, a lot of chips are missing. This one had to be deep cleaned. There was a ton of crusty gunk under there, but what's also very helpful is I could do some continuity tests here and actually see what should be touching, what should not be touching, etc. So this is actually probably going to be helpful as I play around with this. The ROM has a lot of stuff in there. The machine's not going to do anything without the ROM. I could tell you that. I could tell you that. Yeah. So let me just check. I'm just seeing if I have to get in front of the camera again, because there's a bunch of stuff in front of me. So I just have to move the camera, get behind or in front of it here, scooch past it. Let me just check something real quick. Nope, not where I thought it was. I thought there was something I could take a look at, but that was not the machine I thought it was. Yes, I don't think it's a ROM issue. I think there was a short because there was a bridge there. Well, I thank you very much. Yes, the more likes the better. Yeah, so I'm going to where's my multimeter? Oh, did I leave it upstairs? I had some Christmas shenanigans with the multimeter. My brother had one of those hats with the lights on it, and the lights weren't going on. Turns out my multimeter here, we were able to figure out what was going on with it. All right, so let's try this now. It's not going to be too exciting with the microscope here, but it's going to be better than looking at me. This is a Classic 2. So I'm just going to do some real quick tests here. I'm going to test the continuity of a few things here. I do have, where's my other board here? Here's another Classic 2 Revision A board. So I have 3 on the desk here. And I'm just going to do some testing. This one works fine. It was not a problematic one. Why isn't this beeping? Why aren't you, there we go. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing is just doing some basic tests. So making sure I'm just starting very briefly with the capacitors, making sure none of them are registering as there's a bridge there or anything nasty like that. Now it's not going to tell me much, I know, but if I were to get a beep, between 2 of the legs there, then that would, be a clue to look something similar to that. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything there. Now what I can do, we're going to have to do a bit of a fun exercise here, aren't we? So I'm going to just take a stab in the dark here, and I want to test the pinout for the chip that has the big hole in it there. That's not saying that that's going to be the problem, but yeah. Sorry, just catching up on the chat here. You guys are chatting a bunch tonight. We have 45 people watching. Oh my goodness. Hello. Hello. Sorry about the beeping scaring your kitties. The big eep hole, yes. Of course, having bunnies just a few feet over sitting in a pen and hair floating around in the basement does not help. Sorry. Okay, so let's just do some tests here. Yeah, and this is gonna be fun because we're gonna be comparing notes here. So let's see if this pin here is connected to any of the others here. No. Okay. What about this middle one here? No. About this one here? No. Doesn't look like we have any common things here. That's fine. Let's just do a test here to here. Yeah, I remember doing this already, and didn't find anything shockingly different. I'm going to just check on this board here too. This is not the most exciting work, so my apologies if this is not too exciting, but what's part number under the adhesive above 1990 Apple? Huh? Oh, what the part number should be? That should be 341S0851 with the little Motorola logo. Yes, that was me getting the pin back there. I'll type in the part number. 341S0851. There you go. And below that, the number below that, I don't know what that number represents, but OC25TLLK. Actually, that's probably nothing because that number differs from this other one, but I'll keep typing it. Why not? TLLK. What is that? 19216. There we go. So that's the other one. So yeah, someone took a bite out of it because those two pins were broken. One was half off and one was completely off when I got it. So unfortunately, something had to be done there. I guess I could take the chip from another machine, but I was trying to repair that. Maybe that's part of the issue here. I'm not sure, but all right, let's just continue here. All right, that is making the connection where it should be, and on the other board it's doing the same. I'm just gonna try some simple ground things, I guess. There could be a short anywhere, I guess. So it's sort of like a needle in a haystack type situation here. That's weird. I'm not getting any. Okay, we found a fault. I'm not getting a ground. There's no ground. So here, this pin right here, if I put the multimeter in here, that should be grounding to any of these metal ports here, like this, the floppy port here. I'm not getting that. So that's a smoking gun. And if I try the other board, and try this one too, just for the heck of it, I get a beep 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 beep. So that is a problem. Now, where is the ground causing a fault? Oh, that's a very good question. But ground is important. And let's flip it over here. Let's just compare things here. Making some progress. See, this is why it never hurts to take a look at some of these machines again. Alright, so we were checking the ground pin there, which is now in the top corner. I'm going to put a little mark with a little marker here just so I know which pin we're looking at. And corrosion under the power socket. It looks pretty clean to me. And there are no capacitors nearby there, so that's something we're gonna test, but it's just a hypothesis. So, all right, so that's fine. That is not. So there could be a few things. Did you try turning it off and on again? Off. We've turned it on a lot of times. I'm just trying to think if there's a better way to get my camera situated here, because this is going to be... Yeah, you know what? Let me bring this a bit closer here. Instead of you looking at the microscope, because there's not going to be a lot of action on that, I'm going to just move the webcam like this, kind of. And where's my cursor here? There, I think that's a little bit better view there. But an open circuit fault after all. I don't know what exactly could be the issue here, but we're going to take a look. So, sorry for the squeak again. I'm just going to look here. This is the problematic board here. I'm just going to look to see if I see any little resistors or capacitors or anything that has been nudged off the board or anything like that. Now, I did replace one. I did replace one of these little capacitors. This was C114. I did replace that, so we could just double check our work there. Never hurts to try. Alright, and then that should be... Nope, that seems to be doing its job, so it's not that. That's good, I guess. Well, Reese, I don't want to get your hopes up. I have been tinkering around with this machine before, and having a fault like that is concerning to me. You know, this is a multi-layer board, so there could be something just broken that I clearly can't see. But let's try and test all the ground points on this machine. So we have this that should be going to one of these, and it's not at all. Well, it's going to at least some. Okay, so how the heck would this not be connected to the ground there? Yeah, it would have to be a pretty important pathway though, because, and this is just an assumption here, because I think there are, what are there, 3 or 4 of them? Let me just double check here. There are 4 pins on this socket here that should be ground. 4 of them. 4. This is a Macintosh Classic 2. 4 of them. And neither of them, all 4 of those, are not making it to the ground there. This is a 4-ROM. This is the Revision A model. Now, let's try. Now, see, the ground from one of the capacitors is fine. That is not a problem here. But so somewhere there is an issue here, and I would have to check the notes. I think I discovered a ground issue. Either it was on this machine or a similar machine. I think it was the other one here. I think it might have been this one. I think that's why I took all the things off. Let's do a test. No, that's fine. No, I thought there was another machine like this that had a grounding issue, but I could be wrong. You look at all of these and they sort of blur together. Well, you know, the pin looks so shiny, honestly. And I'm trying from the bottom. There are 4 pins on the bottom here. And the top. It's not, I don't believe it's oxidization, because it does ring true on the others, but just any of these ground points, like the shielding of the ports here, just as an example, those are not being grounded. Now, whether that is a critical thing or not is up to someone's interpretation there, but I think that's problematic. I'll say that much. Problematic. Yes, there are more layers, so it's it could be very well be something in between that we are just unable to see. Now, what's interesting is I have this board here that has a bunch of these chips removed. And if it was an issue of a chip not making contact or whatever that was carrying that ground, that shouldn't be able to do that because we're getting a ground there. Now, let me put that aside here so we don't get confused with our boards because I already have too many on our desk. Here's my water bottle. I am running out of steam here. Well, I could easily run a jumper, but my concern is where is it not making that connection? And would that jumper cause any issues or not? Because there's obviously more than one part here that is not making a connection. Now let's look at the bottom of the board here because we've looked at the top quite a lot, but let's look at the bottom. See if there's anything that jumps out to us. How about that? Yes, I will be able to follow. Now, following traces is very time intensive. I don't know if I'll be doing that, how much of an extent I'll be doing that on this stream, but I'm just going to take a look around here. Now, see, this is where I put that dot right here. You can see I scraped it a little bit, the pin there. But these 4 pins are all ground. Those are all ground. And you see there's nothing connecting them here. But we do have an area like this. Well, that is not ground. But so it is definitely there are likely connections in the middle of this board here. So yeah. Yeah, it's probably not a cold solder because all 4 of them are supposed... Now, look, there's some minor, like, crust on these pins, but that wouldn't cause the whole thing to not be grounded. That would be a bit silly. I don't necessarily want to take this connector off because I don't think it's going to show me anything. Really, I don't think so. But maybe we'll get to that at one point. I don't think that's where the culprit is at this point. But I am just taking a look at the underbelly of this board here. I'm not necessarily seeing anything that stands out to me. This was another area. I could clean that up a little bit. This was another area where a capacitor was hanging off there or was missing. Those are a bit of a pain because they're so tiny, but that was on correctly. Is that a solder ball sitting in there? No, that's just a piece of plastic, as it should be. Yeah, because that is for the battery terminal. Okay. Now, the original battery, to my knowledge, did not leak. I don't know, Kate, if you had any issues. In fact, Kate, if you don't mind, can you describe, do you have any memories of this machine working? Or I forget the exact history. I'd have to check my notes. But if you could refresh our collective memory of what was exactly going on when you got this machine, or did you just get it as a blind buy and as is condition, etc.? Okay, yeah. So I did get those indicators when the board first came to me, but replacing the capacitors seemed to have not really resolved that issue. But we did have to remove a few chips, and we had to clean some stuff. There was a lot of gunk around some areas, so it could of course be a number of things, but yeah. Alright, so just going to get a look around here again, make sure. Sometimes looking at it at an angle helps me. Bruce is having his lunch and he's like, wow, I'm glad I'm not working on that one. Yes, the E-pole was very corroded. Yeah, I mean, it could be that, I mean, in all honesty, it could be a number of things. We don't know exactly what the problem is. It there's a chance that maybe one of these chips or components has failed, and just something is not passing correctly. But it's very strange that all four of these connectors here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, is that the right 4? Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It would be the left side here. Wait, maybe am I looking at this correctly? Yeah. So the 4 pins on the left here are all ground. So those should be connected to anything that's ground. Now, well, thank you very much, Splat2 Glitcher. Splatoon 2, I'm making a guess. Thank you very much for the super chat there. Eep! Thank you very much. And you encourage me to continue. How far is ground getting through to the board from the connector? Well, that's why I got the multimeter out here. So I'm going to check on some of the capacitors here. So capacitor 8, I get a ground. Let's see, and I actually have a working board here, so we'll do a comparison here. But let's see. Let's do apples to apples here. I'm gonna have to get out a little notepad as well. Sorry, Dan. What are you referring to? Which? Oh, the 4 pins are. Maybe all 4 pins are fractured under the connector. Well, all 4 pins are making. All 5 of the ground pins there are making connections with themselves. So if I do my multimeter across, well, you can't see them because of my fat fingers and everything in the way. But if I, do one of these, if I could get the probe in there correctly, we get continuity there. So, yeah. So I'm curious if we just do some capacitor changes. So let me just do something real quick. Let me see. Alright, so C5 and C8 should have continuity. C8 does. And C5 does. Okay. So, no, we didn't fix it yet, Mike. Gosh. Alright, and only C11 has continuity on our working board. And that does here, too. So, you're my favorite Macintosh YouTuber, so I thought, why not? That is a very nice thing to say. Thank you very much. I don't think I'm worthy of the bestest, but I will not argue with your opinion. The customer is always right. Thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. I am very glad that I somehow am making this an enjoyable experience, because I'd be down here talking to myself no matter what. So I am glad to entertain you all. Let's see. Okay, so all the negative spots on the capacitor here, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. All of the negative spots on the capacitors are connected and have continuity to the ground, as they should. So from that standpoint, it seems like the capacitors are in okay shape. So the bottom right pin on that problematic one is ground, okay? Well, it doesn't seem to be on this one. Let's see. You sure about that? The bottom left pin? Oh, bottom right. I'm sorry. I'm misreading here. Yep, that's fine for me. That is ground. It's connected there, so. I mean, anything is possible. I'm not necessarily sure exactly where the break is. That's what we are trying to determine now. There was a lot of weirdness going on here with some of the connectors, so it wouldn't surprise me. Some of the chips, rather, not the connectors. It wouldn't surprise me if there's just a lost connection here, and that could be causing an issue. But it's a little funky that 4 of those pins would be making would have lost a connection. I can't even speak tonight. I'm just seeing where else they may go, you know. Just checking the other board here. Yeah, that's why it's good to have multiples of these. It's probably not going to help me resolve the issue, but, you know, technically that helps. Ah, boy. Yeah, there is a few possibilities here of exactly what could be going on. It could be something very simple or something very complex. That is my wise assessment. It could be something simple or not. I will take these ROM chips out just so I can test continuity. See if if there's anything under them or anything. I have removed them before. When I did an ultrasonic cleaning, I removed them because these specific versions of these ROMs have little labels on them. I think that's sort of a nice little factory original thing. I would not want to hurt those. See, you have the schematic up. I have it printed out somewhere. Okay, so yeah, there's not much under these ROM chips here. I am curious if I take them out, if that continuity will change somewhat. I doubt it would, but sorry that my fat fingers are in the way. I'm just trying to get these ROM chips delicately off of the board without hurting anything. Probably, Mike. I'm assuming it connects to power somehow, but whoop. Sorry, the two pieces are touching each other there. A link to his Discord server. I don't have Discord. I do have a account on the Macyak Discord. So if you want to join that one, MACYAK, I am on that one. I will say I am not necessarily too active, but I am there. Nope, even with the ROM chips removed, we still have no ground. But just wanted to take a look under them, see if there was anything suspicious. Everything looks fine under there. Not seeing any problems. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, sorry, you guys are all out of focus. It was a bit out of focus for me too, but I wasn't going to tell. Oh boy. So where the heck could this be? Now let me get my schematic here. I have one printed out in my handy guide here. Let's see. I think I have this particular one here. What is this for? This is for... Which one is this? Did I not write it down? This might be for the SC30. Nope, this is for the Classic too. Okay, so I may be forgetting that this did have that ground issue before. I'm almost certain now that this was something I discovered before, but honestly, it's been many months since I've touched this machine. So, anything is possible of me forgetting. Now, I do have the schematics printed out here. I am not going to pretend that I know how to fully read schematics. So that is not really helpful. Page 8. All right, hold on. Let me. Page 3. I'm sorry. I can't read. I can't read today. Page 1 of 6. That's not that one. Page 2 of 6. Page 3 of 6. Here we go. Okay. So, U2, just below the serial ports. Okay. So let's look and see if I have the same page here. I'm looking at the expansion board socket on page 3 of my schematic. So let me click on the link that you provided here. Oh, that's for the chip itself. Well, that would be helpful, now wouldn't it? I'm looking at the schematics of the machine here. Problem with the regulator would explain the clicks. Okay. Well, let's just take a look here at this PDF. Let's just bring everything up on screen here. All right, so we're looking at the third page. Danny is saying U2 just below the serial ports is an 8-volt regulator. It's the 2 middle pins on either side are ground. Okay, so let's take a look at that. I appreciate everyone's input. I am by no means saying I'm an expert at any of these things, so it is always appreciative to get feedback and suggestions and support and all that stuff. Okay, so you're saying a U2. That is just below the serial ports. And yeah, that is one of the chips that had a fun time. So you are saying that the 2 middle pins on either side are ground. Okay, got it. So let's test. Let's test that out. Yeah, those seem to be grounded fine. I'm going to test, see if any pins are grounded on the chip next to it. Yeah, the two left. I'm sorry, the two. Well, yeah, a few of the pins on U1 are grounded, but okay. So, so that is. I assume that means that this chip is at least connected to where it has to be, in one way or another. But the egret IC must play with ground for reset. Can you elaborate that on a bit, Thomas? Are you saying that this chip controls whether things are grounded or not? I mean, that would be convenient if this was the one that was messed up and it was causing that bit of an issue. But I would sort of assume things would things would be grounded even without a little chip there. But just checking again, make sure there are no 2 pins touching each other. I know there's some dust and dirt on this thing. It started the machine. Don't fully understand. Sorry. But it's also a little hard to keep up on the chat while looking at things. So, my apologies if I'm just not grasping the whole thing here. Yeah, there's not much going on under these here. Oh, pin 15 controls reset and starts the reset circuit. Okay. To restart the machine. That's good to know. Now, pin 15, so I assume this dot is the pin 1? And pin 15 is this guy over here then? I would assume. So, I mean, I guess we could make sure that's connected. It is. I don't really know where it connects to. Let's test the other board, see if that connects to ground or something like that. Something common. No, does not seem to be ground, but let's see if we could find if that connects to like the CPU or somewhere else, just to make sure it's getting a good connection. Just testing a bunch of things here. Basically dragging the multimeter around and seeing if anything beeps, but 15 may be on the upper right. That was a... That probably would explain some things. But 15 isn't grounded anyway, at least on the working board. Alright, so I found a spot where it should connect. Let's test on this board to see if it actually does. And it does. Have a short PSU will click. Yes, so we believe it's a short, and we're not getting continuity on the ground. So there is definitely a short somewhere on this board. The question is where? Is indeed the question here. And I have taken this chip off before, and I believe I have a photo. Let me check my system here. I need to organize the photos better. But let me see if I have a picture, because I remember taking that chip off and saying, you know what? Well, let me take a picture here, because I don't want to have to do this again to see what's under it. My goodness, yeah, those are some of the serial ports. And I could probably pull up one of the live streams I did and check as well. But that's on a Macintosh SE30. That's on a Macintosh 2. Let's see. Those are much newer. We will need a list of power rails and where to test them to check for shorts. Yes! I mean, like I said, I am not an expert at schematics here, but give me one moment and we can learn together. In other words, you teach me. Because I can bring up the schematic on the screen here. And we can look at it together. So this is, let's see. Now there are 2 revisions of this board. So let's see which is the Classic 2. I don't know what revision this is, but let's see. Or chip would glow. I like that. Glowing chips. Let's not have any, please. Okay, so let me see if I could share this. Let me see if I could just put this as a new thing here. Sorry, let me just capture something on the screen here. Name is already in use. Oh, okay. Okay, so let's capture. Where's preview? Preview is here. Okay. And let's make that visible so you guys can see it as well. Sorry, let me just adjust this here. Make this a little bit bigger. There. Now it doesn't leave too much room to see what I'm looking at, but now you can see the schematic here. I'm running out of screen space. but you can see the schematic I'm looking at here. So let's see if we could find. I think we found it. Yes, J11. So this is the power. This is the power socket right here. You can't see my mouse hovering over, but the bottom left of this diagram here, you'll see J11. And that is the power socket here. And you'll see the readings for that along the bottom. Now I see we have, let's see, which pins are the ones that are actually the ground. So let me just double check here. If I look at this, that give me a clue. Oh, well, so sorry, I'm terrible at directions of things. So the bottom left pin, so let's say 14, 13, 12, and 10, I believe, yeah, those are all ground. Yeah, 10 through 14 are ground. 5 ground pins. So I can read that much at least. So yeah, that it just says goes to two analog power supply. Yeah, ground. All right. So yeah, that should be ground, but it's not. It's not. It's just not. 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9 are power. Okay. So let me get a little notepad here. I got some scrap of paper or something. Let me actually use this old recapping guide. I have to reprint this anyway. But I used to have pens just sitting around here. Where'd they all go? Who stole my pens? Oh boy. It's almost midnight. My goodness. Good thing I don't have work tomorrow. The reason I started live streaming late. Okay, where's all the... first off, I'm turning off the soldering iron. That's just been sitting on for an hour and 40 minutes not doing anything. Let me go grab a pen. I'll be right back. I'm going to get a glass of water too. So study the schematic for a moment. I will be right back momentarily, I promise you. Okay. Alright. Got some more water here. Got a pen. And we're in business. Alright, what revelations have we come up with on ourselves while I was gone? Feels like an algebra problem. Yeah. It is tied to everything. Oh, sorry. Covering that. Let's take a look at some of the chat here. Yeah, so the egret chip is tied to everything, unfortunately. Let's see. The egret chip is a Motorola 68K controller chip that has custom code burned onto it. Now, see, with the machine being off, though, let's just think through this logically, assuming that I know what I'm talking about. With the machine being off, let's say if that chip was not making a connection, or the chip was faulty. If that particular chip had a fault in it, I don't know if that would regulate the 4 ground pins to touching like the shielding sides of like the SCSI port and stuff like that. I don't know if it would cause that. That's a guess though. But thanks, Christopher. No worries. Have a good night. Alright, so U15 looks like a voltage regulator. Could check those output pin 1 and pin 4 to shorts. So I'm not getting... Okay. Well, Danny is playing along at home, which is excellent. Please, for the love of God, let's figure this out. Okay, so what is going to help me here is I have an Apple Pen. You can't see it because it's all the way zoomed in. But there's an Apple logo. Actually, let's hide this schematic just for a moment here, because there we go. I have a little Apple Pen. This I got at the Cupertino headquarters years ago. So yay! I could just make a jumper, but I don't want to like assume that would fix the situation. Okay, so pin 1 of U2 looks like 8-volt regulated output. I'm not getting 8. All the grounds are connected, so you could make... Yeah. Okay, so let's bring that schematic back up so I can learn more. I'm learning. Alright, so make my OBS screen bigger so I can actually see what I'm looking at here. Alright, so let's see. So you said you guys were saying U15 looks like a voltage regulator. Could check those output pins 1 and 4 for shorts. Okay, so U15, let's see where that is located on the logic board here. Let's see, U7, U9, U8, U10, U11, U16, U15. Okay. So U15 is right by the battery here. Okay. So let's just adjust this a little bit so I have a little bit more room to show things on the screen also. There we go. Then let's hide me. You don't need to see me right now. We're trying to do picture-in-picture. You don't need 3 things here. Okay, so this is U15. So I assume where that dot is, that is pin 1. The lower right would be pin 1. Would that be a correct assumption, fellas? Because we are saying check the outputs of pin 1 and 4. So where would that go? Where would 1 and 4 of U15 actually travel to? Where can we make a check on that? So U15 goes... wait, what am I looking at here? Yeah, no, that's right. Alright, so U15, pin 2 should go to pin 8 on the power connector, I believe. So pin 2, this would be pin 2. So that should go to pin 8. And it does. We get a happy beep. We get a happy beep. Okay, so pin 2 does go to pin 8. And let's see. What else did we want to test? Let me just scroll up in the chat here. And 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I guess this would be 4. And that would go to... it has... What is it? I don't know what that is on the schematic. Is it a little regulator guy or something? It should... If this is pin 2... Well, I'm sorry. I cannot count today. And the chat keeps scrolling by, so I was looking at it keeps going away. Sorry, let's read this again. So pin 4. Alright, so 4 is here. Okay, so that's 4. And that should be... That should be the same as 2, right? Aren't they connected to the same spot? Or am I reading this wrong? Oh, no, that's 6. I'm reading... I'm a dork here. It doesn't say where 4 is supposed to go, does it? Huh. Okay. Yeah, I am definitely going to get a piece of paper and start making notes here, because this is going to be one of those things I'm going to forget. Like, wait, what did we do? What happened? So I have some image writer paper. Excuse me, image writer paper here. I can start writing notes on the back of this. Okay. Alright, so this is Kate's Cursed Classic 2. I like the sound of that. Classic 2, Rev A. Okay. Okay. Alright, we will make as much progress as we can be without boring everybody to death. How about that? How about that? All right, let's try and zoom this in just a little bit, because I'll look at this a bit more. It probably... Actually, no, Sean's SE came after. So, the curse did not enter the building yet, although that's not probably the best excuse. Okay, so... Yeah, those just say ground. So... Am I understanding this correctly that... Let's see. No, I am not understanding that correctly. I thought, oh, maybe that goes to ground too, and it does not. Yeah, this is a noodle scratcher. Yeah, I'm just looking for like a trace to have a gouge in it or something, but I don't think it's going to be this simple, unfortunately. Be lovely if it was as simple as, oh, it's just the thing missing. 1 and 6. Okay, no worries there. No worries. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that is connected with pin 8 on the power supply as well. So I will write that down. So, and pin 6. That's okay also. Alright. Hello, Jay. You bored with your 3D printer yet? You want to come hang out with us? I see how it is. Okay. So this is the Classic 2 logic board, Kate's Classic 2 logic board, which has the mystery of why is there no ground? Why is there no ground? Of course, we could force it to be grounded, but I don't think that's going to solve the problem here. And I would be very hesitant to just plug that into a bunch of electricity. I wouldn't want to damage Kate's computer here. I wouldn't want it to go sparkity spark and explode. Unless she really wanted me to do that. Well. So, the ground on the power socket here, there are 5 ground pins. The first place I noticed we weren't getting ground was on the shielding of the ports. So let me hide this. Let me go to a different view here. So essentially what we noticed before is, and Kate's saying we should make a new ground plane, but essentially these 5 ports here, these 5 pins on this port, should be ground. Now they do connect to ground on the capacitors and the like, but ground is missing from these ports here, and probably other spots. Hello, Bruce. Why is my Mac Mini suddenly sounding like it's gonna take off here? Hey, Bruce. So this may be a familiar sight to you, and we'll catch you up as we'll catch the rest of the 37 people or so watching at the moment here. So this is the lovely Macintosh Librarian's Macintosh Classic 2 Revision A board. And this is the board which has the mysterious problem of ground being present on the capacitors when we check against the power supply pins, but not on the external components. No ground. No ground at all. So, yeah. So Danny says, can you check if you're getting 8 volts? Yeah, I'm into the capacitors near, but not into the IC. I could test here. Let me do you one better, Dan. Since you have your board out, I'm gonna test the board that I know works, and let's try this out. So let me write this down before I forget. So this is U2 pin 8. Pins 13 and 27 of the egret. That's where you want me to check it? 13 and 27. Okay. So let's find 13 and 27. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. To pin 8. No. That does not seem to be doing anything for me here. Bruce is like, oh, I play along too. It's just the game that everyone likes to play. Yeah, I am not getting a blower diode would cause this fault. Okay. You tell me where that is on the board, and I'll see if I can inspect that. So yeah, we have just Danny, for your curiosity there. Pin 8 of U2 does not seem to be making a connection to pin 13 of the egret chip there. So let's try pin 27. That would be this one here, right? Yeah, not doing that either. So neither 13 or 27 seem to be connecting. Blown. Okay. Blown. Bad autocorrect. A blown diode would cause this fault. Sorry, pin 1. Okay, no. Oh, U2. I was checking U15. I'm a dope, aren't I? Let's try this again. So pin 2. Where is pin 2 on this? So I'm assuming pin 2 is this one up. Oh, well, you can't see. You can't see. So here's U2. Well, let's hide our schematic here. We don't want it taking up all that space right now, do we? Sorry, let me hide that. Why wouldn't hide? Come on. There we go. All right, so let's go back to U2. Now, let's see. I think we're all going to need a break after this one. Alright, so this is the chip here. Now, where is pin 1? Is this pin 1 where the stripe is? Wait for everybody to scream at me. At the angled side. What angled side? It all looks pretty much the same to me, boss. Okay, so this is pin 1, so this would be pin 2 then. We have continuity on pin, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. We have pin 14, not 13. And that's the only pin that's making continuity there. I tested the rest of that egret chip. Only, let me count this again. Yeah, only pin 14 is making continuity there. No, that's pin 7. Okay, well, that would explain again. Which one is it? I assumed this was... Wait a second. I got myself confused here. I gotta learn how to read these things better. It's very helpful when there's a dot there. Okay. So... Yeah, there are a lot of little 3-pin diode guides on the board here. I see diode 3. I see that there. Yeah, so we'll look at that next. But hold on, let's get back to this here. So U2, you tell me is pin 2, the one that you want to I'm sorry, pin 1. That's right. Pin 1. Is that this one here? Or am I looking at the wrong corner here? Well, neither of them want to connect to pin 13. How about that? The non-stripe side. Okay. Well, on the working board here, neither this pin or this pin does anything to the egret chip. So, bottom left. Okay. Let's try that. Same. So, this is on a working board, mind you. Nothing wants to connect to that. I honestly think I tried a jumper. I would have to check back to my previous live streams because I cannot remember for the life of me. I'm looking here. I think I did. Yeah, I did do a jumper here. I am remembering now. Let me zoom out a little bit. Sorry, or zoom or focus. Whatever these knobs do. I did take the ground from the audio port here to try and fix that. And I don't think it resolved the issue. Otherwise, we'd be in a different spot. Now let me just double check here. Yeah. So those grounds actually connect to this audio jack here. The ground and the audio jack is fine. But nothing else wants to work. Hold on. Let's go back. Bruce be preaching, I be listening. See the screen printed circle. That indicates pin... Well, I'm looking at the other board here. Let me go back to the clean one. Yes, I know this circle here is pin 1. So I don't know. I don't know why I assumed this would be any different, even though it doesn't have the circle there. But I know the circle is pin 1. I'm not that silly, but I am forgetful. Very forgetful. So, I mean, I could very well bridge that ground again. I don't know if that's going to make much of a difference here, though. What do you guys think? There's obviously something... a screen-printed circle on the board. I did not see a circle on the board. Oh! Okay, well, let's... How about that? Okay, Bruce. You have schooled me again, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's always nice when you actually have an idea of what's going on. That's always helpful. Here's diode 3. I couldn't tell you if that looks bad or not, because to me, it looks like a diode. Oh boy. Hey, let me just see something here at the paper clip. I'm just curious here, because if I do that, just to hold that in place here, it'd help if I had my tools in the right spot. And multimeter shut off again, which doesn't help. Just do a quick test here. Yeah, that would... Test with your meter's diode range. You should only conduct in one direction. Your meter should show its voltage drop when conducting. What are the parts with the... Wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm reading too many things at once. Going back to the diode here. Alright, so Thomas says, what are the parts with the 1, 2, 3, and so on? I'm not really sure of what you're referring to, Thomas. I apologize. Sorry, we're jumping around a lot here. I know it's not easy for any of us. Danny is saying with your multimeter's diode range. Let's see. This is when you learn how much I don't know about these things. My multimeter is a very simple one, and when I mean simple, I mean extremely simple. Let me give you a shot. This was. So here's the multimeter I'm working with. It doesn't really have a lot of options there, but you tell me mode to slap it into, and I will be happy to do that. So my camera's not focusing. This is not a fancy multimeter by any sense of the imagination. It's literally like a $10 cheapo one. But it does continuity, and that's usually the majority of what I'm using it for. But, yeah. I don't know. This is a cheapo one. I'm pretty sure it's not the best one, but if it's better than the one you have, I'll take that. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so let's see if I can describe this here. So let's wait for the. Oh, you know what? I do have that little webcam utility here. Let me force this thing to. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? I have a freaking microscope on my desk here. You can probably see this much easier now. Is it clear now? It would help if I hit the transition button. There we go. So I have the DC voltage areas here on the multimeter. Then I have HFE. Honestly, I have no idea what that means. I have my continuity mode here. Diode symbol. Okay. Well, good enough. I have to learn what these... Oh, it's a little arrow guy. I don't see that on here. HFE, is that you were saying? Is that the one? Sorry. I was moving around a lot. Oh, that's for transistors. Okay. I'm writing that down because I should learn that. It's on the continuity range. Okay. So, yes. I see. Okay. So, I assume... Alright, so when I push down this button, it goes to DH. Is that the diode mode? So if I push the button next to there, it switches between this and that. I assume I want the DH on? Diode check? Yes. Okay. See, I'm learning. So I literally have not used this for anything else. Okay. So we want to measure that diode, correct? I assume we can just do that hopefully quite easily. Hopefully. So diode 3 or oh, thank you very much, Jay. You didn't have to do that, but thank you very much, sir. Eep! Thank you very much for the super chat there. I appreciate it. Take off DH. Okay. Oh, data hold. Okay, no. We take that off. It go off now. Sorry. Not diode check. Display hold. Help if I don't have the manual for this, otherwise I'd read it. Put it on the red stripe. Yes. So red on the red stripe. It's it's showing me the number 1. That's all it's showing. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Oops. It would help if because I believe right now it's just in continuity mode, which is fine. I just don't know if it should be doing anything else. Oh, red on the right side. Oopsie. Hopefully that didn't do anything. Okay, I am getting 150. Thank you. 150. I'm just scrolling up, Danny, to see what you got before. You had 140. So I'll do that again. Just for the heck of it. Yeah, mine is sitting at 150. Well, 149. You know, it's sort of 148. Sort of sitting around there. That doesn't sound right. Of course. So meaning a 150 millivolt, I'm getting? Microvolt? I don't know. Voltage drop across it. Okay, that seems to be in spec. Okay, well, I mean, one more thing to add to my little list here. So D3 seems to be okay. Millivolt, okay. I'm learning so much today. Okay, so adding it to my little list there. Trust me, I'm not an expert either, apparently. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yes, one short down. Well, one down, one to go. So we tested that one. How about the inductors? Please direct me, or anyone can direct me to where those may be, and I will be happy to look at them. Again, a bit out of the realm of my capabilities here, but I am happy to learn. Like I said, I ain't going nowhere, so. Did we check the power rails for shorts? Give me an idea of how the best way to do that would be, and I'd be happy to do that. I'd be more than happy to do that. So pins 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9. Alright, so let me write this down. I believe 8 is okay. Inductors are labeled L. Okay, thank you very much, Bruce. All right, 1, 2, 3, 8, 9 we'll test. Okay, so I see L5, L6, L7. I'm seeing if there are any other L's. L2. Now, should we just test continuity across them? Let me see your multimeter, the dial on it. Of course. Of course. Let's move the... Sorry, I have to find where my cursor is here. There's our multimeter there. Sorry, there we go. Now, should we just do continuity for the inductors, or what's the idea behind probing that? Alright, you able to see what you need there? Hopefully. The camera's in focus for now, but it keeps going out of focus a little bit, so apologies. Might want to do a screen grab or something if... Yeah, see if you can get any reading on any of those pins to ground. Okay. So should it beep with continuity, or should it... oh, I'm sorry. On the diode mode. Where it is now. Yes. Right? That's the diode mode. So if I... Yeah, let me do this. How about this? Let's move the camera down. We'll do a fancy picture-in-picture here if we can. Of course, this tripod has a mind of its own. Apologies, just give me a moment here. I'm just trying to tighten this so the camera stays pointing down, but I don't know if it's actually going to do that. Okay, great. There we go. We're getting fancy here. We're gonna try. We're gonna try. You can see my Jaguar mouse pad, which I love very much. Okay, so let's do this here. Let me get a few things in view. Just give me a moment here. I want to adjust this webcam, but I want to. Oh geez, can I crop it? I don't think I could crop it. No, I don't think if I can crop it, it's out of my capabilities of understanding how to do so on OBS. Rotate, flip, fit to screen, stretch. Okay, well I could do this. If I could get a hold of that, I could do this. There, let's... sorry, hold on. There. So hopefully you could see this a little bit. And we're going to see what I'm looking at the microscope as well as I test these things. So I know that the setup is not ideal, but we're going to try and work with what we got here. Okay, so let me look at this again here. So check F1. Oh, so that's fuse 1. To see if fuse 1 is connecting. If there's a short against it. Oh. Fuse 1 is is giving me continuity here. Let me see what the working board does. Yeah, the working board does the same. Well, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that. I don't know what I'm checking there. Sorry, we're jumping around a lot here. I'm getting a little dizzy. Getting a little dizzy. Sort of like you're taking a test and the teacher is asking you questions and you're like, what? Okay, so the fuses are closed, so I guess that's good then. All right, let's check on. Let me check the chat again because there's a lot going on here. So, we wanted to check the inductors, right? Let me get my notes. Why did I flip over that paper? We wanted to check the inductors. Those are the L's. So I have an L2 here, and so we wanted to check this to pin 8, which is... Oh, no, not pin 8. Which... This is going to drive me mad. Not pin 8. Pin 14, which is ground, right? So we want to check this against ground. Is that correct? We want to check the L2 against ground? The earliest version of Mac OS X to support Intel Macs is 10.4.4, but it shipped with iMacs. The first retail version was a later version of Tiger 10.4, and then Leopard and up support Intel Macs. That's your trivia for the day. So, what if I just do like across? So, L2, if everything was in frame here. There we go. So that gives me a reading of, what, about 50 or 60? Yes, I have one of those too. I have the same, it's out of focus here. But this is under one of the ROMs as well, Danny. I have that as well. And all the other boards I have do that too. So going back to these little inductors here, are we trying to see if there's continuity between them? Because there certainly is. I guess I could check the rest. L7, yep. L6, L5. Here's L3, L4. They're all making the beepy beep beep. And L1 is over here. Yes, so not a short. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so it should be a group beep across them, but not from them to ground. Yeah, I don't think that was. Yeah. Oh wait. Well, okay. So L2 is going to ground. If I go to the power connector, it's going to ground. That may be a problem then. So right here, I'm putting one pin there, okay? And then I'm putting one on pin 14 of the connector, which I believe is ground, the power connector. Why isn't it doing it now? Oh, because my multimeter turned off. So L2 to pin 14, which is certainly ground, is giving us continuity, which we just said was bad, wasn't it? Oh, L2 goes to ground on the schematic. Well, I guess then that works. Oh, Lord. Oh, boy. Well, the L2 on the schematic goes to ground, so I assume that's where it's supposed to go. Now, what's interesting is this L2 here is right on this big ground plane here. So let's test continuity here. Yeah, it's making continuity there. Let's see if L2 is making continuity to the back of the board here. Okay, so this is what I just discovered here. This L2 here is making a connection to all the shielding here, the grounds. So if I go from here to L2, I get a connection. But if I go from pin 14, which is ground on the power socket, to here, I don't get a connection. Yeah, the schematics are not correct 100%, I don't think. So the schematics are a bit so who knows. I am pretty sure because I have one here from the factory with that jumper wire. Let me double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 pin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. And then here it is. Yep, that's in the correct spot. I have confirmed that. So here, if I touch from the shielding here to, let me just switch the camera, it's easier to explain. So if I go from here to here, let's try that again. If I go from here to here, we get continuity. But if I go from here to here, we get continuity as well. But if I go from here to here, we get nothing. So there is still the issue there of this ground not connecting here, because if we look at our working board here, we take this here. Well, that's not the working one. Let me take the working one, the correct working one. It's making the connection. So try probing from the power connector ground to the Fox crystal. Okay. Sure, why not? Let me adjust the camera there. Are the crystal cases grounded? They are according to the power socket. And according to... So L2 connects to it. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, so that is okay, but there's something going on here. Sorry, I'm so high up here, it's not focusing. Oh boy, the mystery continues. This is just, jeez. That's an excellent question, Reese. It seems that the ground is getting to the capacitors. It seems it's getting to that L2 spot. It seems that it's getting to a lot of places where it should on the board, except the shielding. And maybe others. I just haven't tested yet. Try ground to C6 side above E. Okay. Yeah, I believe that. Let's double check here. Yep. Negative side of capacitor 6 is fine to ground. At least when I'm connected to the power terminal there. So, and all the sides of the capacitors that go to ground and have continuity on the working board act the same way on this board. So I'm just taking a look here. There's that one diode there. I'm trying to see if there's any other on the board I could spot. Maybe they're on the other side. Oh boy. So Kate gave a pretty good sized bounty for me fixing this, and that is what seemed like something easily obtainable and maybe to make a quick buck is quickly going out the window. The amount of hours invested on this thing. But that's the thing. You never know how complicated a board can be. So. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, let me look at the bottom of the board here. I mean, I would assume that wouldn't be the case. But, you know, what do I know? Yes, I do have to know when to walk away, but this is also riveting. Check the positive side of all capacitors to ground. Okay. First, let me do that on the working board, just for fun. Just for funsies. Okay. The working board checks out. Let's do it on this one. Nope, none of the positive capacitors. None of the positive side of the capacitors on the board go to the ground, which I guess is a very good sign. Check the yeah, I did that. Are those ugly SMT diodes at the bottom? At the bottom. Let's see. There should be at least two other diodes, I'm assuming, because one is marked D3. So I would assume there should be a few more. Unless I am mistaken, which could very well be the case. Try inspecting the hatched ground plane under SCSI connectors. It should connect to the ground trace going from C18 and C22 under the ADB port. So we have, I'm looking for, just looking under here. So we have surface mount diodes. Okay, so those are those the ones labeled the what would they be labeled here? That the Qs? I'm really stretching here. I have Q1, Q2, and D3. Would the Qs be the diodes there? Let me know. I mean, they look a bit crusty. Oh, D. Yeah, well, see, that's the only diode I'm seeing here is the D3 here. That's the only one I'm seeing. But maybe it just labeled something different, or it looks a little different than what I'm expecting. Because that's the only one I'm seeing here. Danny, I don't know if you know the location on your board, if you could direct me. So the underside of it, maybe? We're getting a lot of good information, so yeah, Q I don't think is the right one. Check the back side. I am looking. See, plenty of resistors, plenty of capacitors. Not seeing anything. You know what? Let me do a direct comparison of this board to this other one here. Let me just see if anything is popping out as maybe something has fallen off, or I don't know. It never hurts to compare. but I'm not seeing anything marked D for an additional diode. I don't know, Danny or Bruce, if you see them on your logic boards that you were playing around with. Because maybe I'm just not looking in the right spot here. But I don't see one, unfortunately. I am just taking a glance here. Let's see if this one... There's hundreds of SMDs. Yes, there are. Most of them on mine are marked resistor, capacitor. I mean, there could be only a handful of them, but I don't see any marked D for diode, unless I'm misunderstanding here. Which could very well be the case. You know, I really wish I knew this stuff like the back of my hand, but I'm still learning some things here, so appreciate everyone's patience. No worries, Bruce. You do your work. That's more important. You need to check the power rails for shorts first. Okay. We could do that, I guess. If you want to instruct me of where to point what to what, I'd be happy to do so. But we're sort of taking shots in the dark here. My goodness, we're almost going at 3 hours here. It's almost 1 a.m. It won't be going with this forever. We're just poking around here. So I know, let's see, that the power rails were 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9. So, I mean, let me see something here. Let me take, yeah, we did when doing U2. That's right, we did. Yeah, sorry that this is I mean, it's exhilarating because I'm trying to think of where the problem may be and how to resolve that, but beyond that, well, I guess I'm just gonna start poking around, seeing what is ground on the working board, and seeing if that relates also to this one. See, on the board I have here, the board that is problematic, the microphone jack is grounded to the ground pin on the power supply, but the audio out jack and the rest of those are not. So if I look at the bottom here, this is grounded because we did test that before. So that's the microphone. So ground is getting to there, but somehow it is not getting to the rest of this. Now I could maybe follow this here. Oops. Yeah, I mean I don't see, the problem is I don't want it to leave it clicking for too long. I am I mean, I know it's already not working, but I don't want to damage the analog board or anything. I'm gonna just follow this here. So this is the ground that's not getting a connection. So you have capacitor. There's this thick line here. I'm just seeing where this goes here. Goes here. That's it. All right. Well, kind of lost it, but just checking to see if there's anything obvious of something not connecting or something. Now I can look at the other side of that. That is right here by those capacitors. Now, let's see. I'm trying to remember exactly what I did here because it looks like I did do some cleanup here. And I guess there is the possibility of something could have be not repaired properly here. So let's take a look here. Just clean everything up here to get a better look. Yeah, on the right side. Yeah, I'll check that too while we're looking at it. Sorry, I know I keep getting sidetracked here, but I mean, everything in my eyes, at least right now, appear to be making a connection here. I don't see anything that is see that via going to C32, C333, C40. Okay. Yes, so that right here. Yep. Top left. Sorry, let me. I have too many things on the desk here, and it's hard for me to position things. Let me get a little bit closer. Go back to the yellow caps. Oh, I'm sorry. On the other side. Yeah, I was gonna take a closer look at those because there could be something not making a connection. There could be yeah, I know that those looks very dirty. That's what I was trying to clean there. Right here looks, and of course the camera is hold on, it's in focus for me, but it's not for you. So let me make an adjustment here. Yeah, let me take a look here. Let's see if, of course, it's right between these two, and I'm hitting the top of the microscope too. So I really can't get my scalpel in there. Yeah, I'm trying to wait on the left or the right, because both of them look pretty nasty to me. But let me turn this around here, see if I get a better vantage point. Oh, I see a little solder ball hanging in there. I mean, that ain't good. Eep! Oh boy. All right. Well, we have a little bit of junk there. We have a little solder ball hanging out there, which is probably, I don't know if that's doing anything good or bad. Looks like I repaired a trace here. Oh, that is very hard to get anything to, because there's so much around here. I mean, there's some crud in there, but I don't know if that would be, I don't know. Here, let's do something here. Let's get the multimeter again. Turn that back on. It keeps turning itself off because the battery's probably low. So that should be, what, positive? No, it's not going to there. Let's see. Alright, so this here is going there. Let's try on the working board, see if we get the same result, because that would be a good indicator of what it's supposed to be. Yep, same thing on the working board. So although it looks a little suspect, well, hold on. Let's take a look here, because if we go over here, let's look at the working board here. See, there's just the via here that goes from the top to the bottom there. There's no trace that I see. This is on the working board. Oh, further. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's just a via. I don't see any traces that are supposed to be going there. The ROM sockets have been removed. I don't see anything hiding under there. The ROM chips, rather, have been removed. Saying that it looked the same on the working. Yeah, it does look the same on the other one. So I do want to. No worries, Neil. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. I know it's very late here. I'm just taking a look again at the bottom of the board. All right, so this is on the bottom here. Okay, so this is, obviously the green is the ground and all that such. Let's just take a look here. Let's make sure things are connecting. Yeah. 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 Where does this go? This one goes. Yeah. Okay. So where does that go? That pin there. Oh, that goes to this little guy up here. Okay. All right, that's ground as it should be. So technically, I would assume this would go, yeah, so that's grounded to here. Oh boy. Oh boy. What are we missing here? I mean, there's a ton to look at, so it's not like it's going to be one thing. I'm sure there's a few mysteries here, but my goodness. It's going to hold it up to light to get a better look at it, but that's not going to help really. We are dwindling to only 27 viewers. I appreciate all of you sticking by me, but the outlook is a bit grim here. Oh boy. Yeah. Crap. Oh boy. I'm scratching my head on this one. I tell you that. Let's change up the camera angle here. So on power up, what this is doing is there's no screen image, there's no chime, and the analog board is making a click, 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 click noise. So it seems like there's a short somewhere. Now, I would not be opposed to putting this through the ultrasonic cleaner once again and just trying to, be darn sure that there is nothing causing that, a little solder ball or something causing that issue. But, Bruce says he's back! He's back! He's back! The egret IC repair does the wire connect the other via. Let's see. Let's double check here. Let's double check my work. Always a good thing to do. So here's the working board, because we're just... No, that's not the working one. Wait, does this one have the jumper too? No. See, our working board does not have the jumper, but the board that we were cleaning, this is a different one, also has that jumper there. So let's just... Yeah, so this is from the factory. That's how... Let's try and get a good image there. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like that is just touching the pin there. It's not touching that via. Now let's see how I did it. Maybe I made a mistake here. Nope, yep, mine is just touching that pin. It is not touching that via there, which it's I don't believe it's supposed to. Let's get that fuzz out of the way. Oh, come on. There we go. You know, I can check. There don't appear to be any dry solder joints, because other things appear to be connecting to them, but nothing else does. But you know what? It does not hurt to take a look. There's some scratches, because I... Hold on. Why can't... There we go. I'm seeing scratches. I'm not seeing any dry solder joints. Oh, the next via up. Sorry. I know I keep jumping around here. My apologies. Well, the analog board works perfectly fine with another logic board, so I don't understand why it would work fine with one logic board, actually many logic boards, rather than anything else. I'm not using the RAM expansion module, no matter which machine I connect, because this is a Classic 2. It doesn't need that. And actually, I don't have anything that plugs into this on the Classic 2. The Classic 1 would be a different story, but this is a Classic 2. Sorry, let's test the continuity there on that via. No worries. It's always good to ask questions. There's no wrong questions here or anything. Let me move this just a wee bit. There's some gunk in there. Probably not helping. There is some gunk, which could very well be conductive, or it could just be old flux. I'm not sure. Okay, we were just trying to clean this up just a little bit. It could be. So let's do a test here. I'm going to test on the other board to see what is conductive where. Okay, so on the other board, this should not be connected to this. Oh, I was doing the wrong thing. Oh, because that was touching that. That's why. No, that's not connective. That is not either. Oh boy. Yeah, this is a puzzle for sure. And this is why sometimes when I get recapping requests and I look at the picture of the board and I say, you know what, that's gonna be a 10 to 12 hour job. I'm pretty good for this month, thanks. Because yeah, oh yeah, we don't need you there. Let's get you off the board. Oops, where did we drop you? Shoot. Come here. Come here. Come here. I am failing to do simple things today. Oh, come on. There we go. I'm pretty sure people have put video game consoles in cars. I am running out of ideas, guys. Yeah. I mean, something is certainly not happy here. And I would love to know why. I mean, my goodness. What could be causing the entire part of that board to not be grounded? What indeed? What indeed? I'm just thinking of what else I could check. Have you tried resetting the PRAM? Did you make sure the keyboard was plugged in? All sorts of helpful comments. Now I'm gonna check all of the solder joints here. I don't think any of them are bad or anything, but while we're here, might as well check them, right? Everything looks okay to me so far. I have a suspicion that it's something that's making a faint connection, because at one point I did not get the pop pop pop. I got the jail bar pattern, but it was only like once. Reflow the power connector. I could take a look at that. I don't necessarily see a problem with the power connector, but it would not be a problematic to reflow it just for the heck of it. Again, here is the power connector here. Those are scratches, but nothing seems to be cracked or. And again, the power connector is connecting ground in other places. So it's just fine in most areas, it seems. Just not where it isn't. So I mean, all I would do is touch the iron to those edges, and I am perfectly happy to do that. I just logically thinking here, and again, my logic may be flawed, and I understand that. If something else is connected to that, that should be okay. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? I'm also going to check these areas over here. I mean, this one I touched at one point. I put a wire there, so that's why that looks a little funky. But I'm not seeing any, and that has a bunch of flux on it. Well, that's cracked there. We got a crack over here. What is that? What is that? That's the ADB port. Okay. Well, let's turn our iron on. Because we have a crack right there. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. It's probably not causing our issues here. We've replaced the capacitors. There are no original capacitors on this board anymore. So we're gonna reflow that. That's the ADB pin. So that's something, I guess. I don't think that would be causing this, but who knows? Who knows, man? Who knows? Just by the floppy connector here, that looks okay. This is, I believe, yeah, this is the SCSI connector here. It's a bit of a hair there, but that pin is bent a bit, but it's not cracked. Same with this one. The other board has that too. I don't know if that's just how they were from the factory or what. These all seem okay. Let's see. This is the actual SCSI port here, the 25 pin port for the external devices. That all seems okay. Check over here. These all seem to be okay. It seems like all these are happy. Except for that one ADB port one, which, wouldn't it be funny if that fixed it? Wouldn't it be hilarious? Wouldn't that be hilarious? And there goes the flux flying to the floor. Okay, let's put a bit of flux there, which means a lot of flux. And let's get our iron out here. And this is overkill, I know, but just for the heck of it. There. That ain't going anywhere. We'll touch these up too. That's going to take a lot more heat. Yeah, this microphone is very sensitive. Sometimes too sensitive. But, solder mic. Sizzle. I'm just touching up the ADB port in general, just because why the heck not? I'm here anyway. Let me crank the heat up on that just a little bit. You know, I'm gonna just touch up this whole area here, because who knows? Who knows? So I'm just touching up all the spaces around the ADB port here, just to play it on the safe side here. Yeah, that's sucking up all the heat because it's a ground plane, but that's okay. Yeah, I think that's making a solid connection there. This is the sound jack. I know some of them look like big ugly joints now, but it's clean, and I'm just being overly cautious, making sure we don't have any breaks in this particular area. Yeah, my tip here is not the largest, so getting there we go, a good heat transfer to these larger ones is a little problematic, especially at the angle I'm at. Let me just do it from here. Yeah, so let's get our multimeter out just for giggles here. Americans say a lot of things. I don't know what I say. I say things incorrectly apparently. But what else is new? Yeah, I think we still have the issue here. Yep, we do. Because it's still not making the connection it should be. Now let me get the toothbrush here and just wipe away some of the stuff we did. Well, thank you. I like Action Retro's channel a lot. He has some excellent videos. I wish I could keep up with the pace that he has of one scripted video a week, because that's a pretty good schedule to have. I'm quite jealous, but I know a lot of hard work goes into it. Well deserved. Whoopsie, where did we go? No, he has a full-time job, but maybe he does videos during his workday. Who knows? Not that I would ever condone doing something like that. Working from home has its benefits, folks. Okay. Alright, so this is the ADB area we cleaned up here. That looks nicer, but I don't think that was causing the issue here. I'm just going to follow this around just to make sure there are no other pins that were broken or anything that we're missing. Check the SCSI port. I'm curious about this area here. These all seem to be in good shape. See, this is where this is actually grounded on one part of this. pin 14 goes to the microphone jack. The grounded part of the microphone jack here. So, oh wait, up. One joint looked broken. Sure, let's go back. Was it, yeah, let me zoom out a little bit here. And now it's out of focus for you, but it's in focus for me, so. So what joint appeared broken to you? Am I, let me know if I'm, well, it's sort of hard to tell me, but this is where the microphone jack is. I don't think anything's broken there. This is where one of the serial ports is. Something, I guess, I'm guessing something is broken from here to here. Somehow. I don't ask me what or how, but this is the ground plane, this checkered pattern here. It's going here. It's going here. I'm going to guess there might be a fault around here. No, small round one. Okay. Sorry, let me see, I can't display links. Whenever you send me a link here or paste in a link, YouTube is like, "Oh, do you want to show or hide this?" And I click show and it goes error. So, I mean, YouTube is borked up, but I copied and pasted that. Let's see. Just reading that Mac Rumors thread for a second. Yeah, I mean, that may be a different issue there. Around, crack around the joint. Okay. Let's just take a little trip down where we were going before. So I skipped over the SCSI things because we did look at those before, but I could come back. So now I am looking at the printer ports here. Yeah, I mean, I would assume also it would be where a capacitor had leaked, and that's. I mean, look, I'm not assuming anything. Could be anything. Right there, bottom. All right, so my camera is out of focus here. Let me show you exactly what I see, and we will. So I see it much better than you guys can, unfortunately. So let me adjust this. My apologies. I don't know if there's like I have to clean this or what. Okay, so those look like scratches, but maybe it's a crack, so let's fix it. Why the heck? It's not going to hurt it, so. So is that the right one? I'll do the whole. You know what? I'm gonna do all of them. I'm gonna do them all. Leave nothing to chance, huh? I don't know if this was actually gonna be the culprit here, but why the heck not? I'm turning the little fan on, so if you hear that, sorry. So I don't breathe in as much of this smoke as I usually do. Don't touch the flux. Oh no! Crossing the streams would be an extraordinarily bad idea. Well, it doesn't hurt to touch these up anyway. I mean, they're what, 25, 30 years old at this point? Where did our toothbrush go? There it is. Some scrubbing action. They look much more purty right now, I'll tell you that. I don't know if that was causing the problem, but it's a little therapeutic, huh? Action scrubbing, 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 scrubbing. My goodness. Yeah, there's just so much going on this board that it could be anything. That could be a potential issue, maybe? Let's see. Let's see if anything is actually making a connection to this via here. It might just be dirt on it. It might be okay. Nope. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, there's gunk in there. Let's check the other side. If it's connecting to the other side there, because that's where a lot of caps were. Who knows what could have been leaking there or whatnot. Nope, it's going to the resistor on the other side, so that's good. Yes, this is exactly why Service Source was like, you know what, we're manufacturing these. They just replace the whole stinking board. I mean, back in the day, that was a great option. Where are we? Where are we looking at here? Yeah, you get the one guy at Apple who's like 18 years old and be like, oh, I don't think this is one of our products. They'd probably be like, we don't want to service this. Go away. Well, I think this is a good candidate for another soaking in the ultrasonic cleaner. I mean, who knows where gunk might be lurking and so on and so forth. I will definitely let it soak in some hot water too to sort of loosen up some of the dried flux and junk that's just been sitting here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess. Hey man, I have fond memories of the original iPhone. Yeah, it would be different using it today, but I could sort of see what somebody getting by. They don't really need much. Oh yeah, there's a lot of flux in there. Ew. Is that little piece of solder ball or some junk? Ugh. Hold on a second. Let's just do this here. Let's give everything a nice soothing scrub. I don't know why I'm looking through the microscope as I scrub it, but I don't know. I bought a jug of it for like $60, and thankfully I still have plenty left. So hopefully I don't have to buy some anytime soon. Because I still can't find it in my grocery store. So that's why I just broke down and paid $60 for, what is it, a gallon or some ridiculous amount I got. I mean, I needed it, so it's like, you know what? It's going to be more expensive, but I can't do these repairs without it. Sorry, I was a bit zoomed in there while I was scrubbing. Sorry. I still remember my first cell phone, one of my first cell phones. My first cell phone was one of the Nokias. It was a hand-me-down. But my first new cell phone, brand new from the store, was a Nokia N-Gage. And I had a 1 megabyte a month data limit for the internet. I did not exceed that limit, surprisingly enough. I know, a whole megabyte. It's insane to think about today, but really. Yeah, at least by me in the United States here in New Jersey, I have not been able to find anything above 70%. And I usually prefer to use 90 or 99%, so that's why I just got the big jug. 1 whole megabyte. Alright, how about we let's do this. It's getting up there, 3.5 hours here. Yes, I hope everyone is safe there too. I know a friend who unfortunately has gotten a positive test, and I wish them well. Hopefully everything will be okay. But scary times, man. Scary times. So I am just using a little fan here. Ugh, come on, you silly tripod. Just to, get some of the alcohol dry. Because let's test this guy again. We've been doing a lot of work on this. Oh, squeaky. Squeaky, squeaky. Let's just test this sucker again. Because, I mean, come on. Yes, my wife got a fan. And she thought she only ordered one. She got two. So I'm like, can I have that one, please? She said, yes. So thank you, honey. Oh, no worries, Kate. I mean, it's one of these things where every once in a while I look at it because it's in a little bag, and I'm like, you know what? Let's try and look at it again. And that was one of those days today. It's, and I'll update my notes and figure out exactly what else we could look at here, but let's see if doing any of what we did has resolved anything for us here. Okay. Squeak adds character. That's very true. Alright, so let's make sure we are putting the ROMs back in the right position. Yes, we are. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and try and test this again. And if it starts making that popping sound again, I'm going to promptly turn it off. So I do not want to break anything. Okay. Steve, can you power the system without the main board, even attached? No. So I've tested this analog board section of the computer with other logic boards, and they've worked fine. So that is not the issue. The issue is with this board here, Michael. So I have a stack of other Classic 1 and Classic 2 logic boards, which work perfectly fine on this. So I don't think anything else would be the issue. I could be wrong, but all signs point to that not being the issue here. So I'm not putting any memory in. I'm just going to use the onboard memory there. I am going to grab a power cable from the ground here. Make sure it's plugged in. Okay. And no, there is no speaker on this. The speaker cable goes through here. The Macintosh SEs have separate speakers, but not the Classic 2. Oh wait, am I assuming things here? Just want to make sure. No, there's no speaker cable on the Classic 2. It goes to the analog board. Jay's like, I bet it's gonna work. Send me more of them pins. Okay. Alright, well, let's get the camera situated in case anything exciting happens. Okay, so here we go. Nope. Oh, the popping stopped. So that's interesting. It went pop, pop, and then it stopped. Whereas before it continued. So Let me sorry, let me I moved my chair and it hit the tripod there. Let me stand up and just stretch my legs here. I want to try that again. All right, now there's no popping, but still nothing on the screen here. No faint patterns or anything. Maybe there are Pringles involved. Yeah, I mean, this board could definitely use a good cleaning. Just noticed, and this is completely unrelated, but I looked at the label and I laughed. There's memory on board, so it doesn't need any external memory. That little blue sticker says Corona OK. That is silly. That is very silly. I'm just losing my mind here because it's almost 2 a.m. All right, let's try this one more time. Why the heck not? None of the chips seem to be getting warm or hot. So, oh boy. Wiggle connector with power on. Whoa. What are we doing again? Are you trying to electrocute me? That's how about no? I mean, I'm going to wiggle it around a bit while it's off and then nope, that doesn't seem to be doing anything. Well, and again, to prove that this is a working machine, let's get our working board here. Wait, just making sure. Yeah, that's it. So this is a working board. Yes, at least it's not the 840 AV. And it comes to life and it's happy. Well, it doesn't have anything to boot off of. But just to show you that this analog board and everything does work with the speaker and everything on a proper logic board. So now I'm curious though, if we go back to the problematic board here, if we get that popping again. Just curious. No, no popping. What happens if I press like the reset button? Nothing. Big fat goose egg. We did not reflow the power connector, but see, the thing is, I don't think that would be the issue. I'd be here. Let me look at it under a microscope again. Let me move this out of the way. So, Kate, is that going to be your next video? Introductions to diodes and inductors. And then there's going to be you'll cut to me like in the corner wearing like a dunce cap going, oh. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's why I was pushing those buttons just to make sure that none of them were stuck, because if they go through the ultrasonic cleaner, sometimes those buttons will get stuck in the on position. I mean, just to make everyone happy, let's reflow them. Just for the heck of it. I mean, it's only 1:40 a.m. in the morning. I did not check any of the ROM chips, actually. The seem to be okay. Maybe? That one actually could do with a little touch-up. But I don't think that's causing anything. That's a hair, not a crack. I'm still going. We're wrapping it up though, because I've lost my sanity ages ago, and it ain't coming back. So I'm just gonna touch up like one or two of these that look a little suspect, but I'm not seeing any broken solder joints or anything on these. Yeah, this is a weird thing over here, but I mean the other board I have does the same thing, so that's fine. That's for that expansion thingy I don't use anyway, so that's fine. No, that's another 4 hours. I'd be asleep. I'd be snoozing. Be snoozing. Alright, well, you asked for it. You can't unask for it. So we're going to be reflowing the solder on the power connectors here. I don't know if that's going to help, but why the heck not? We'll try. Okay. Oh, thank you very much, Madeline. That is very, very much appreciated. Thank you very much. You get a big eep. Eep? Thank you very much. That is very kind of you. So, Thomas's cat went to bed. Good idea. I'm becoming rich. Yes. Now, those are Australian dollars. Remember that. I'd take Australian dollars over American dollars. But thank you very much. That is greatly appreciated. And let's... where'd the alcohol go? Let's just clean this up a little bit. Oops. Too much, but we'll wipe that off. Look at all the bubbles. The bubbles. And the out of focus. Look how out of focus it is. In fact, let's clean the whole back of it. Why the heck not? Eep! We always got to get an eep out of that guy. Alright, so let's... do I have paper towels? Where'd the paper towels go? I had paper towels. And they're all... oh, this will do. I just need a little bit here. Just where most of the alcohol is, I'm just dabbing it dry. And the rest should dry from the air relatively quickly. But, well, that's right. I was going to touch up those points. And now I don't know where they are. Yes, there's that one. And that, all right, let's just do that real quick. There was one there. And yeah, it was basically the bent ones on the edge of the board. Again, I don't think they're causing an issue, but couldn't hoit. Excuse me. Anyone using dial-up for backup internet? My goodness, no. Oh, well, you just have to ask, that's all. You have now become a moderator. Welcome. You now have me making silly accents that don't make any sense. Oh my gosh. My goodness. Oh, yay! Then everyone is banned. Okay. And Kate, I thought I made you a moderator a while ago, so there you go. So now we have... The more moderators, the better. Not that we really have any problems. There's one or two folks who like to, you know, just spam the chat, but they are just instantly removed. So we don't really deal with them anymore. Okay, we're gonna turn this on for the last time. I doubt that I doubt that made much of a difference, but you never know until you try. Means you didn't pay enough. Yes. Okay. All right. Oops. Knocked over my flux. Where's my cursor? I don't know where anything is. Oh, squeak. Squeakity squeak squeak. Squeakum squeaker. Oh, well, thank you very much, Kate. That's greatly appreciated. Let's test this one last time before we all hit the hay. I forgot to give you an eep. Eep! There we go. Oh no, that got started into a thing. No, don't worry. Super chats are greatly appreciated, but they are optional. I don't want to guilt trip anybody. Trust me, that is the last thing I would want to do. It's always fun juggling a compact Mac and a logic board with only 2 hands. Okay. Let's try this again, shall we? Okay. Keep those fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. See, I can't even speak anymore. That's when you know it's time to give it up. But when could I speak in the first place? Wow, Jay. Thanks. Don't pay attention to Jay. He's a cranky boy. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Nope. It's doing the popping again. But I did hear the CRT energize. So here, let me put the microphone close to it. So you're gonna hear what, well, if it decides to do it again, you're gonna hear the popping that I hear. So get ready. Here we go. Of course, now it's not doing it. There it goes. Hopefully you were able to hear that. That is exactly what's going on here. Yeah, it's I don't know. There's something going on. That's all I know. Let's put this lovely little Mac away. This camera is always in the way. I have no room over here. There we go. My goodness. Yeah, it's not supposed to make those noises. That's like when you bring your car to get fixed. Yeah, it's not supposed to do that. Well, I know that. Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, look, there has to be something on the logic board side, because on the analog board, that works with other logic boards. So that to me says there's something with the logic board, which would make sense. Adam's gonna be like, it don't work. It's broken. No worries, Thomas. We were just testing it again. Nothing, no change. So after reflowing the power connector, we did not get any difference. The popping returned, but yeah, that was about it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to. First off, this is gonna go in the ultrasonic cleaner again, because there's quite a little bit of dirt and grime on this that I didn't notice from last time. So would not hurt to have it cleaned. And there is that issue of some of the board just not being grounded, which I didn't test continuity of after we made those soldering changes. After we reflowed those joints, I doubt it did anything, but so where was 14? 14 was here. Yep. Still not connecting where it should. me do a thing here. No, wait, that's the same thing. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I have no idea. So you come on. CPU with shot. Not asking. Well, okay. So the reason I made Madeline a mod is I know her personally, so we have a history together. So that's why she was ragging on me for not making her a mod. So I appreciate you wanting to become a mod. I just don't know you personally well enough yet. But I'm not saying never. I'm just saying that's why that went on. Let's see. So the next thing I want to do is I want to clean this board. Are any of the power pins on the main connector shorted to ground? Continuity. Sorry, it's very late and I'm trying to think of how to answer that. Oh God. No, all of the 5 ground pins are grounding to other areas on the board perfectly fine. They are just not grounding to the metal shielding here, which makes me think there's somewhere on a VIA or an IC or somewhere where it's not connecting correctly. So obviously there's a problem. But good night, Kate. Yeah, I'm about to hit the hay as well. But we've been going for almost 4 hours here. My goodness. And yeah, not too much to report other than we still have a problem with this board. So hopefully we can get this fixed at some time in the future. But I have to put a stop to this. Otherwise this will just keep going on. It'll be silly. But yeah, but yeah, it's just one of those boards that takes a lot more time, and this is why I had to put a bit of a pause on accepting more repair work, because some of these just take much longer than others. So yeah, but I'm gonna call it a night here. Let me reposition the camera so you can see my lovely face as I sincerely thank everybody for joining. There we go. Woo, spinning around here. I look huge because of this wide angle lens. It's kind of not appealing. But thank you everybody for tuning in. I know we had a 4-hour fun time of looking at this one board. I was going to maybe swap to other boards, but that didn't happen, obviously. We got too ingrained in this one. And that's what happens. I come down here to look at one thing, and the whole night goes away. But I thank everybody for tuning in. I thank everybody for the super chats. That was amazing. Thank you very much. I thank you for all the likes, the subscribes. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do that. That is going to help us grow and everything. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Mac84TV is the handle. And if you want to support me on Patreon, well, you can do so as well. Go to patreon.com/Mac84. I'm going to hit that end stream button, and I'm going to make a goofy face into the camera. So, bye. Good night. Stay safe. Take care, everyone. And I'll see you again.